Good morning. I was up early. Not early for me, but early for lately. So I'm getting back to my normal routine. Let's talk about adaptability. We've talked about adapting, we've talked about consistency, we've talked about mindset, we've talked about so many things around a single issue, which is quality of life. In particular, if you are living with catastrophic illness or a serious injury. I've been through both. I've built a reasonable audience across the various platforms. I don't have a huge audience, but I have one that is legit. Because you see, I expect the people who follow my accounts to be as authentic as I am. I clean out bots, I clean out junk accounts, I get rid of all that stuff. I don't need numbers. I don't need to inflate appearances. I want to make sure that it's real people like me. So, with that in mind, there's a reason. I have to believe that everything I've been through is for a reason. It is. Lifetime of chronic pain, the year I couldn't walk, so much illness, so many injuries, so much difficulty recovering. And I never want to highlight those things as though that's the important part, but in a way it is, because it's foundational for who I am and where I'm at now. And if I were to try to talk to you about maintaining fitness or quality of life, and you're living with something like lupus or have had a very catastrophic injury, anything like that, if I hadn't walked through it, you'd be like, well, who are you? How do you know what it's like? And you'd be right. I don't take advice from people who haven't been through it themselves. Neither should you. So where are we at? It's 2025. I've had a very dear friend and mentor for the last 3 years, is it? Almost 4 years? I have lost track. Everything has been, it's a blur, but a good one. So because I now have someone in my inner circle who completely understands what I've been through, what I live with, so I'm still going through, that's a level of support that I didn't have before. Hold on. Those of you who've been friends and acquaintances for a long time, you're gonna go, I love you guys, but I needed someone walking through that who's walking in a level of success that I didn't yet have, and most of you don't have. The people I look to as mentors and teachers are the ones who have demonstrated consistency, discipline, success, improvement, going above and beyond. They're past my current level of, I don't want to say capability. There's many things I'm capable of. They have not been solidified and manifested in my life yet. But this is what I want to talk about. Let's say you can't walk. Can you pick up dumbbells and curl? This is where I missed it. When you feel ill, when you are in a tremendous amount of pain, everything stops. Sometimes by choice, sometimes because your body just stops you. If you've never experienced that level of pain, then you won't know what I mean, but there is a degree to which the world stops for you. Instead of focusing on what you cannot do or what is just very difficult and painful to do, find the thing that you can do. Christopher Reeve, before he died, was actually able to move one finger. Now, that doesn't seem like much, but when you consider that he was told that he would never be able to move anything from the neck down, there's a level of grit and determination in that I completely admire. Given more time to live, what could he have maybe accomplished? Or being in a different era of medicine than when his injury occurred. I'm old enough to remember all of that vividly, so it stands out in my mind. Popular memes right now say if there's even a 1% chance, fight. My mentor said, I don't like that, and followed up with, if there's a 0% chance, fight. Let that sink in. I don't know about you, but there's things that I've been told that I couldn't do, wouldn't do, could not accomplish. I usually prove them wrong. It's usually doctors. I've said this for so many years. The human body is not a textbook. Doctors usually give a prognosis because the patient is demanding it, not because they actually know. You've heard me say it over and over and over. You're the one in charge of your healthcare. You're the one making the decisions. What you eat, what you do. Here's an example. Burpees. Terrible exercise. Not really that beneficial, my opinion. But what is a burpee? You're doing a squat thrust, a push-up, a jump squat. You don't learn to do burpees by just doing burpees. You do each of those broken down, and when you're strong enough, you start putting them together. And so, just like my squats challenge, if you can't do 100 squats a day, we did that through the month of May, I ask people to do what they are able. It doesn't matter what type. That's the other thing that I make very clear. So, if you work out with weights and you want to use weight and do that kind of squat, if it's a lift, cool. I'm not doing that yet. If you can do sissy squats, which I'm not a big fan of, but I like the results they offer, do that. ATG, no weight, cool. Chair squats, limiting the height. That was me this year because I discovered I'm hypermobile and I need to protect my knees, and I'm not there yet. So limiting the height was important. Let's say you're even more limited on your strength. You haven't got all that under control yet. So for you, a chair squat may be not just coming to a certain level and touching, but actually allowing yourself to sit down, take a breath, and then stand up again. Focusing on your form and that pushing up correctly, not just standing up and sitting down. Or you keep a much higher stance, kind of like your martial arts. I am a Tai Chi practitioner, Wu style, and so we do the horse stance, the Mabu stance, with the feet about shoulder width and just a little bit of a crouch, just a tiny bit, right? For you, that could be a squat. Why is this important? Because you're accomplishing something. instead of limiting yourself to, I can't work out like I used to, so I'm not working out at all. Listen, that fear takes over so easily. I get it. I've been there. That's been me. I've been you. That challenge has been different from me every year, even though it's my challenge. I even had one year that I couldn't finish it because of a knee injury. Couldn't finish my own challenge. Frustrating, but I had to give myself some grace. Because it's not worth it if you're going to cause yourself more harm. The point is to build strength. Back to my buddy Kyle. After his stroke, it took about a year to get his surgery approved to repair the PFO. I watched that man build muscle with a 10-pound weight limitation. That restriction. So how do you do that? It's not like he was working from ground up. He's already muscular. How does someone like that, who's very fit, build muscle working with nothing but 10 pounds? I haven't been able to explain it. Blew my mind, but I watched it. So, repetition and consistency. Form, the way you activate the muscle, the focus, the mindset. Like C.T. Fletcher will tell his own muscles, I command you to grow. Did you know that if you tear yourself down constantly, if you criticize yourself, if you focus on the flaws, you will actually inhibit muscle growth? That realization hit me recently. I never thought about it. You think of it as a physical scientific process, and it's more than that. It's so much more than that. And I've been researching about that, about blood sugar, about boosting GLP-1 and insulin sensitivity and fat burning, because I need to get my body fat percentage down. And there's so many factors. Your diet is first, not a diet, but your diet, what you eat. Supplements, very important for some people with my health conditions, yes. Sleep, the correct amount for you, which is not the same for everyone. Your circadian rhythm, hydration. I've been failing that one this year. Stress levels. All of these things that contribute to the cortisol response. Extremely important. So that's going to affect your body fat percentage, your blood sugar, and muscle growth and retention. So you throw in a factor like autoimmune disease, neurological conditions like I have, the history with heart disease, all of these things. Stress level is elevated constantly. Your fight or flight response, this is a factor. With all that in the mix, no wonder it's been so difficult for me to get back on track. I have had a habit, I'm getting this right, had a habit of letting the difficulties derail me. And it's like, I can't, like I said before, I can't work out like I did, and I end up not working out within my capacity. I don't mean not at all, because obviously, like, I'm out here, I walk, I have my free weights at home, I do stuff, I got my resistance bands, I do my physical therapy, but I would say not consistently enough in many cases, but also not to my current capacity. I fall short because there's an element of a fearful response. Now that's my job to get that under control. So while I have been talking about starting where you're at, I kind of missed it myself. And I can't explain to you why, but sometimes a message just clicks. Even if it's something that I've done before, walked through the paces of, it just didn't completely sink in. And this morning it did, listening to an Eddie Pinheiro message that I know I've heard before. Climbing a mountain. I'm a peak bagger. Doesn't happen in one jump. You don't jump to the top. It's one step at a time. And so each of those steps is important, like I described with breaking down the elements of a burpee. You may need to practice the repetition on small elements, in smaller increments. That is okay. But it doesn't feel like it's doing anything, but you're doing something. If you keep doing that, there will be results. Certainly more than if you do nothing. And I've been guilty of that. So that's why I'm addressing it. I'm letting you know that we all do it. And if I had to wager a bet, I'd say my buddy Kyle has been there too. I know that he's had his moments with some of his past injuries where there was a feeling of defeat. He's human. We all experience it. And so, those of us who can demonstrate a level of success, who are walking in the element of victory, which you'll know it when you get there. We didn't get there instantly. In fact, anyone demonstrating a level of victory, they've been through hell to get there. I have. I know Kyle has. A lot of good examples out there. C.T. Fletcher has definitely been through it. These are the people to pay attention to. It's not easy. When you have a special calling, it is not something that you're just handed. You gotta work. You gotta walk through a lot of pain. You don't build muscle by just getting up one morning and going, poof, I think I'll be muscular. You work for it. No, none of it gets easier. You just need to decide to be a person who is strong enough and at the level that is needed to get through those challenges. It took me a long time to accept that. I'm very transparent in my social media and in my talks about this. If I can't be authentic about that, then it's not relatable. Back to my earlier point. So with all of that in mind, there's a new app launching soon I hope, where I am a beta tester, an ambassador, and a community leader. I can do whatever various types of content I want to. Some of you know about my intent to produce a docuseries about training for Half Dome when I went in 2019. Everything about that hike. Yes, I do still have a film to put together as well. It's just been 2020, you know, it happened to all of us, and everything forward from there. But my life is starting to come together at a focal point that is extremely important. And I want to take you along with me because you're the reason I'm doing all of this. I needed a purpose. I needed a reason, more than myself. And so it's always been about reaching out a hand to help people who are in the same pit of despair where I started That's the reason for all of this. So I want to help. And I got a buddy who is more educated on fitness and adaptability than I am. He doesn't have as big of an audience, but I believe one day he will. So we're going to help each other, all of us. And in the process, you're helping me because, as I said, this gives me purpose. This gives me a reason to keep going and to make something useful out of every storm that I have weathered. I hope that you will follow and support. If you're not following my Substack, that's a great place to start. I'm going to post this on various platforms. I did create a link tree. So whatever platform you're on, if you see that link tree, hit that link and check out my content on whatever platform you're on. Follow me everywhere. To those who have supported me for so many years and you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you. I see you. All right, stay savage.